Hello and welcome to another episode of the Elevate Your Small Business podcast. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can make better decisions as a small business owner. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Libby Knight, and I've helped hundreds of small business owners and entrepreneurs to break through their limiting beliefs and take their business to new heights. Together, we design their business their way. We start with mindset and build on the strategy, using my years of experience in sales, marketing, product development, and more. If you're ready to elevate yourself and your business, then keep listening. This is the Elevate Your Small Business podcast. Let's start with a question. Do you find that you come up with new ideas, but you find them hard to put into action? Do you sometimes find that you are really, really excited about something, but all of a sudden you get the collywobbles and the fear kicks in and you just can't move forward with it? And you can't understand why something that felt so great and so inspiring and motivational suddenly becomes scary and hard, and you're just not taking action, and you just can't work out why. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about how we can make decisions, how we can make better choices that we are going to be so confident in that that's not going to happen anymore. And the reason it won't happen is because those decisions are made not just from our head brain, our logical brain that makes sense of things and is great at spreadsheets and maths and planning and all that stuff, which our head brain is great at. But what we're going to do is we're not going to overthink. We're not going to go looping around in circles and overthinking. What we're going to do is bring in our other two brains into the conversation. So what are these other two brains that we have? Well, we have a heart brain and we have a gut brain. And yes, they really are brains. This is not woo-woo. The gut brain and the heart brain are very well studied. They've been recognized for a long time. But what's happening now that in a discipline called MBIT, or multiple brain integration techniques, the three brains are being studied together. So what relationship do they have to each other? How do they communicate with one another? How do successful people use those three brains? Why is it that they are successful? It is because they're using all three brains in alignment when they have a nice calm nervous system, and they're doing this in a certain pattern. There is a certain order to how they use those brains. So this is called M-braining. But we don't need to worry about what the terminology is, because as always, what we want is that ideal outcome. And the ideal outcome is to make decisions that feel really, really good. They feel aligned with our values, they are aligned with our identity. And if you want to make the connection between the brains and the values and the identity, values are a heart competency. So each brain has certain competencies, things that they're really good at, things that they play a major part in. And one of your heart's main competencies is your values. And how on earth can you make decisions and then act on them fully and get the ideal outcome if it's not aligned with your values? So if you perhaps have found yourself listening to a guru, doing a course, and you are told that the way to get the success that you want is to do a certain technique, use certain messaging, create a certain product. If that isn't aligned with your values and your passion, which is obviously a heart competency, then you're just not going to take action, you're not going to fulfill your potential. If what you're trying to do comes from elsewhere and it doesn't align with your personal values. So that is a heart competency. And I also mentioned your identity. If it's not aligned with your identity, your core identity, who you really are, who you've always been before all that programming and all those influences that have come to you throughout your life and made you into the person you are today. Before all of that, right deep down inside, you have a core identity. And if what you are being told to do, or what you are trying to do, or what you think you should do is not aligned with your core identity, which is a competency of the gut brain, then again, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to see the success. You're not going to have the joy in doing it. You're not going to keep consistent. So this is why we need to make decisions internally. Yes, we can learn from external sources. We like courses and podcasts and, people, books. But what we want to do is extract all those learnings and choose the ones that align with our identity, our passion, our values, and these are the competencies of these other brains, the heart and the gut. So what we tend to do is to start by checking in with the heart. If we come up with an idea and we have perhaps learned something new and we think it's a great idea and it could be great for our business, rather than plunge straight in, let's slow down, let's check in with the heart. How does it feel? Does it align with my values? Is it something I'm passionate about? Do I love the idea? Am I going to love doing it? Because it's not just about the outcome, is it? It's about the journey. So let's take an example. Somebody tells you that you should be working with a particular type of client or delivering a particular service offering, and you think, yep, that would be financially sensible. I can see how that would work. That makes logical sense. So the head brain's on board. So you dive right in and you start mapping it out and you start promoting it. You put it out to people and you haven't checked in with your heart. You haven't checked in with your gut. So if it doesn't align with your values or your core identity, who's going to come to work with you? Are they the right people? Are you going to love delivering the content or the product, designing the product? Are you going to love promoting it? Are you going to feel proud to promote it? Is it going to feel good? If it doesn't feel good, you won't do it. You'll hide. You won't want to talk about it. You won't want to fill your program or sell your product if it doesn't feel good with who you are and your values. So slow down, even if it makes the best sense on paper, doesn't mean it's going to succeed, doesn't mean it will bring you your ideal outcome, doesn't mean you're going to love doing it, doesn't mean it's going to make you happy. So first of all, check in with that heart. Is it something I feel passionate about? What emotions does it evoke? Is it aligned with my values? Who am I going to be working with? How do I connect to this thing, to these people? So those are all heart competencies. So once we have checked in with the heart and keep checking in with the heart through the whole process, we will make sure that we are keeping in line with our passion, our values, our connections, feeling connected, compassion for ourselves, because the highest expression of our heart is compassion. And this is compassion for ourselves as well as others. It's so important to show compassion for yourself. We know that if we are compassionate for ourselves, then we are happier, and that has an effect on everyone around us. It's in our energy. So it's so important to have self-compassion, because that equates to compassion for others and a happier life. So this is why we must not neglect each of our brains. They all play a crucial part in the quality of our life. So ask quality questions, because our life is the sum of the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. So ask your gut brain, your heart brain, and your head brain quality questions. Does this feel good? What do I really want? How do I want to feel? Who will I be? Is this aligned with who I am at my core? So ask those questions every time you decide that you're going to launch into something new or you've got a new idea. Check in. It's going to save you so much time in the long run, rather than keep starting new projects that you just don't complete and that just don't bring you the results that you want. Check in with your three brains. Now, that is just the starting point, because what we actually want to do is to learn how to be in the right state to speak to our three brains and how to talk to them in the most effective way to get the best results. And that is MBIT, multiple brain integration techniques. And the process of doing it is called embraining, and you can embrain every day to make those better decisions, to live a bigger life, to fulfill that potential that you have inside of you, that you have inside of you. But isn't it frustrating that you're not living to your fullest potential, having your biggest, happiest life, living in the moment, all of those things that bring quality to life that we can do right now? We don't need to wait. We don't need to wait until we no longer have to have the approval of our parents, or that we're retired, or that our children are grown up, all those things that we're always waiting until, because quality life is in the little moments. It's in the spontaneity. It's in the everyday. So we don't need to wait for huge changes and huge accomplishments and huge challenges. We can start to bring in those magical moments every single day. And this is what I find when I've worked with people, is they've realized, first of all, they've realized what they really want, because it's often not what they think they want. So there are layers to go through to find out what they really want. And then they also find that they can achieve that so quickly and easily every day that it's not necessary to move mountains or change the world, or make huge life changes to experience those moments every day. And that's what embraining is all about. So keep listening, because I'm going to be bringing more insights into how you can make your best decisions, live a bigger life, and just enjoy life without imposter syndrome, overwhelm, all of those blocks that keep us small when we are not tuned in to the wisdom of our three brains, because they hold the secret to what is going to make us truly happy and truly successful. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Elevate Your Small Business podcast. Feel free to share it if you know someone who needs to hear it today, and if you enjoyed it, I'd be so grateful if you could write a review, so that more small business owners can benefit. The world needs more mission-led, independent businesses just like yours. You can find out more about me and what I do at libby-knight.com. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you're juggling the demands of a service-based business helping your clients and all the other demands of life, then you're probably feeling pretty short of time. So this is just for you. I have a brand new course that helps you to save a minimum of an hour every day. And what would you do with that extra hour? And how would that accumulate over a year? Would you make more money? Would you be more present with your family? Would you have more me time and prevent the burnout? Whatever you choose to do with that extra hour a day, we know that it's not just about what you do, but how you think. So this course is going to start with those quick wins of gaining you back some time, plugging the leaks, putting in the boundaries, but it's also going to help you to instill new beliefs that will allow you to make different choices. Because this is not just about quick wins, as good as they are, it's about long-term change and changing your life. So if this is something that you would like to know more about, then have a look in the show notes and find the link to the Save an Hour Every Day course.